Well, welcome to Thursday mornings, Who's in Your Pit Crew. And I don't know if you all recall, but a few weeks ago, I had Robin Rae. Say hi, Robin.
Hey guys.
I had her on the show and I completely lost internet. And Robin is a AE, so that has to do with your taxes and accounting, right? So we promised taxes today. And I've invited her to the show because she's actually done a presentation with us in the past, and she did a fantastic job. So we all need that numbers oriented person, especially if we're running a business, right? So I'm going to let her to introduce herself. And then we'll get started with the questions. So if you have questions, make sure you're typing them in the chat box. Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Robin Huntley. I own Rae's Accounting in Apollo Beach, and I am an enrolled agent. And what that is I am federally licensed to represent my clients before all areas of the IRS. I took a 3-part test with 100 questions in each test to show the IRS my knowledge of tax law. And go ahead and ask Alexa, what is an EA? So that's exactly what I am. I was born and raised in Northern New York. And then I went to SU. And if anyone doesn't know where Northern New York is, it's 82 miles north of Syracuse. Yes, Snowbelt, USA.
Oh, wow. It's cold there.
Yeah. And so after going to SU, I decided not to go back to the farmland, and I moved to Detroit, Michigan, where I lived more than half my life. But in the summer of 2015, I was tricked and introduced to a man that in August of 2016 convinced me that I should move to Florida. And he made it worth my while, and I am now Mrs. Anthony Huntley.
Woo! Congratulations, Robin.
Thank you.
Awesome. So your last name is now Huntley. So is it Robin Rae Huntley?
Yes. Well, no, previously when I first moved down here, I was Robin Rae Alvarez, and now I'm Robin Rae Huntley.
All right. So guys, I see you signing in. If you have questions about taxes, pop them in the chat. We want to make sure that we're getting your questions asked and answered because we've got a professional here. So I just thought maybe it would be interesting if you talked a little bit about what is the difference between a CPA and an EA.
Yes. Well, the CPAs are state licensed, and their regulations are a little bit different because they're done by each state. But I'm federally licensed, so I have clients in every state but 7. And on a CPA exam, there is tax questions, but not tax law questions. So that's where I'm different. I am up on tax law. I am required by the IRS to do 24 hours of continuous education every year. But because I belong to the NAEA, they keep me at a higher standard where I'm required 30. But I'm a junkie, and I'm a little slow this year because I love going to all the, the conferences and tax classes and traveling all over, that I average over 100 a year.
Oh, wow. Very good. So you're very proactive when it comes to continuing education. That's great to know.
Yeah.
So do you currently have real estate agents as clients?
Oh, yes. I have plenty. So like when I have a new real estate agent that comes to me, or anybody in the real estate, and I'm like, well, you didn't give me this, and this expense. And they're like, and I'm like, well, yeah, I've done a few.
So can you give me an example of what this, and this expense is that maybe an agent doesn't think would be deductible?
So I ask about your GTAR. I ask about your rent. I ask about, well, what about your supplies? I know that you guys do open houses. What about the supplies for the open house? And the biggest one is the gifts. Okay, guys. is great that you guys give $50, gifts or whatever. That's great. But it's only $25 per transaction. It's not $25 for the husband and then $25 for the wife. It's $25 per transaction, unless it is, you have Century 21 Keller Williams stamped right on it, like the knife blocks or whatever. If you're going to, leave a basket and everything, I suggest labeling your wine to have your logo on it, and then put other things, but you have to label it. It can't just be your business card in the basket. And I know it's kind of see-through because it's a white bottle. I should have grabbed a red bottle of wine. But those are things that you need to be aware of, because when you make the wine and you put your label on it, it is marketing expense. It's not really a gift, but it's marketing. Because when I go someplace, I bring a bottle of wine and I give it to the hostess. That's my marketing. Because when she's opening it and everybody's seeing it, they're asking, "What's this Rae's accounting?" Let me tell you.
Well, I'll be expecting mine, next time I see you. So,
absolutely. And
just kidding.
And when you refer a client, just stop by. I'll give you a free bottle.
I love it. I love it. So, Robin, are there any that you're aware of right now? I know everything changes before we start doing taxes. Are there any significant changes coming for the 2020 tax season? Or is there anything that you're aware of?
Nothing at this time. Let's wait and see what the election does.
What a mess, right? What a mess. Oh my. Anyway, okay. So last time I had you on, we talked a little bit about mileage, and are there any good apps to kind of track expenses? So you want to answer that for us?
Sure. I like to refer everybody to MileIQ. I know that QuickBooks Online, if you have the self-employed QuickBooks Online, they have an app. But you want to look and make sure that the app is emailing you, or you can log in so you can print your log for the year. And that, if you have one of those, I've never had mileage contested when I was doing an audit for any of my realtors.
So may I say, since your suggestion, I actually downloaded that app. It's super easy to use. Swipe left for personal, swipe right for business. It calculates the dollar amount right at the very top. It's like super easy to use. What about tracking expenses, Robin?
Well, most of the realtors, they do it themselves. I do have one. I just have one that I do the bookkeeping for. So at the end of the year, they go through their bank statements and they give me all their expenses on the Excel spreadsheet or the worksheet that I email them that they ask for every year.
Okay. So basically, and I know my husband's done this for years, create a card that is only for business expenses, which helps to separate out your personal purchases from your business expenses. That way you can just look and hand one bill over and not commingle your funds. How important is it not to commingle your funds?
Yeah. All my clients that I've gone through audits with, they learn really quickly. So not really just a card. You really should have your own bank account for your business. So that bank account is strictly all your income goes in there and all your expenses get paid out of there. So you have your debit card. If you have one credit card that you use for business, then that should be solely for business, no personal stuff on there. It's so many times that I am looking at people's business accounts and they are, it's crazy. I see things for like Victoria's Secret or just stuff that is not business.
Yeah, it is a real crafted art to make sure that you're keeping your business expenses separated from your personal expenses. So let's talk COVID for a moment. Everybody received a $1,200 gift from the government. Do you have any idea how that's going to be treated? Will that be considered income in 2020? Will that need to be deducted? No.
No, I don't know if people remember back when we had the other stimulus, the $300, and if you didn't get it when you filed your 2020 tax return, you got it. So this is just a pre-credit that you got before we do the 2020 tax return. So if you didn't get it, you're going to get it, and if you did get it, and then it's just that's it. That was free
Okay.
money.
Free money. We love free money. So now there are some agent or um, real estate agents out there who actually work off of a team basis. If they applied for a PPP loan or an EIDL loan, can you give us some ideas of how that would be treated and how we're going to be looking at that for our taxes in 2020?
Well, you need to file the PPP for forgiveness, and the EIDL was 3.25% interest rate that you don't have to make a payment for 1 year, and then you have to start making your payments. Even though the day that you got your EIDL, that's the day that your interest started calculating. So, if you don't pay for 12 months, that interest is calculated for that whole 12 months. The PPP, if you don't have the proper documentation, so if you don't have payroll, then you go by your pay for last year, and then it's calculated out, and then your expenses, rent, mortgage interest, utilities, telephone, internet, all those expenses, but it depends on which one are you going with. Are you going on the 8 or the 12? And there's a, a form that comes out, and I can't remember the name of. Is it the 5608? That's just now come out because the SBA, I think they're going to start like the end of November to start forgiving, because I've already sent mine in and through the bank and for a few of my clients, and I keep getting all this, the bank coming back. Well, we don't have enough information. We don't have enough. And I'm like, I've uploaded the thing 4 times. What is your problem? I've given you the canceled checks and everything, but they don't have the regulation yet from the SBA, and that's their problem.
So the systems aren't in place, just like they were having problems with the systems when they went into approving the actual.
Absolutely.
Yep,
Congress needs to get together and work that out.
Yeah. So I would definitely make sure that you have a good contact at your bank so that you know how that's going to be handled when it comes time to start supplying that information. So you run a podcast. Do you want to talk a little bit about your podcast, what it's called, and why you do it?
Oh, yes. Every Friday at 4:00, it's happy hour with local biz channel, Who's Your Neighbor? And I really want to promote my small business clients. So I really have the calendar filled up for quite a few months here. And every month I have a different guest. Like last week was Teresa Clinton from the Sparkman House. And I just want to promote small business, get away from the big box stores, because when COVID hit, who was allowed to stay open? It was the big box stores. It really was not the small businesses. We were closed. We were hurt during the pandemic. So just trying to get their name out and for everyone to support your neighbors, because honestly, 85% of the employers are small businesses.
How true. How true. So, and that's Friday at 4:00.
Friday at 4:00. So I have, it airs on Rae's Accounting. It airs on the local biz channel. It airs on a couple of other pages. I cross page it on quite a few. And then I download it and I put it up into YouTube, and then I give it to whoever was our guest so they could use it on their own social media page.
Very cool. And then she has a really exciting announcement too. So I just put in the chat box. You can go click over to it and register yourself. She's taking 20 small businesses. And so if you're a real estate agent, you classify as a small business owner. So she's going to do an event at Craftology, Bloomingdale and Gornto Lake on Monday from 4 to 7. And I'm going to let her just tell you a little bit about what the platform looks like and why she chose to do it. So go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I don't know if people saw the post that the woman that owns Craftology did on the Riverview page. Well, it kind of, touched my heart. So I went out there on Sunday and I sat there for a while and I just watched how everything was going on. And then I talked to the owner. And what I want to do are for people that are struggling right now, small businesses, I want to do an activity with you and maybe to help you get through this little pandemic. And then I have other professionals that are going to be out there with me giving tips. I have Lisa, who is my marketing girl that redid my logo that's behind me.
Awesome logo.
An insurance agency. She does P&L, but she also does liability insurance. Do you have E&O insurance? As realtors, you should all have your own E&O insurance. And I also have someone that's coming out there to give you some tips and maybe help you with the healthcare, with the open enrollment. And then Jennifer Easley is going to be there to help you with either, investment or retirement ideas. So I have a group of professionals I'm going to have come out just to talk to you, maybe to help you for businesses just starting up, to get you on the solid foundation, and for those that are struggling. And I have a really cool activity and I can't wait to do it with you.
So that's Monday from 4 to 7. It's going to be at Craftology on Bloomingdale and Gornto Lakes. I wanted to go back and touch on something that you just said. So as a real estate agent, and I'm like under an umbrella like Century 21 or Keller Williams or Remax, I should be carrying my own E&O insurance?
Well, that depends. Is their umbrella, is that covering you? Because I do have a client who they received an email who they thought was their realtor with the wire instructions, and they knew and trusted this realtor, and they wired the money. The realtor did not have E&O insurance. The client was out that money and had to get the money again to wire transfer to the right title company. So yes, make sure that you are underneath that umbrella on the E&O.
Okay. So check out your E&O policies, ladies and gentlemen, of your brokerage if you're under a brokerage, and make sure that you have coverage, because I know what Robin was just talking about. When I go into offices and you're having team meetings, that is like a number one topic that gets discussed. The fact that they're hacking into the system, they're sending out fake directions on how to send their deposits, and you're getting caught up in that trap. So beware that you need to make sure that you yourself as a business owner, and a realtor is a business owner, is that you're protecting yourself. So Robin, we're almost at the end of our segment. Is there any last minute tips that you want to give to the audience to kind of guide them through this next tax season that's coming up?
Really, I have to wait till after the election to find out. But as always, make sure that you have your documents and you save them, because in the end, I can do your tax return with any number that you give me. But in the end, you're the one that has to produce the documents if you're ever audited.
Very good. And so anybody out there in listening land, if you have a question, now's a good time to actually post it. I've got Robin Rae's accounting information and phone number. Best contact way to reach her is her cell phone, So please reach out to Robin. I know that she's been in the community for a while now and has made an excellent name for herself. And Robin, thank you so much for being a guest on Who's in Your Pit Crew. Thanks.
Thank you.